Hawley Harvey Crippen was a homeopath, ear and eye specialist, and a medicine dispenser from the United States. His life ended in a rather unconventional manner. In 1910, Dr. Crippen was hanged in Pentonville Prison in London. He was the first person to be captured with the aid of wireless telegraphy. So, what exactly did he do? On the 20th of July 1910, the SS Montrose sailed from Antwerp to Quebec. Among its passengers were Mr. Robinson and his son. These two had a rather intimate relationship, not appropriate for relatives, and their PDA caught the attention of Captain Henry George Kendall. It wouldn't take long for Kendall to discover that the young man was not Mr. Robinson's son, but a woman. He remembered several news articles and figured that she must be disguised because she was hiding from someone or something, most likely the British police. He telegraphed his information to the authorities. I have strong suspicions that Crippen, London's cellar murderer, and accomplice are among saloon passengers. Moustache taken off, growing beard, accomplice dressed as a boy, manner and build undoubtedly a girl. As the ship arrived in Canada, Mr. Robinson, whose real name was Dr. Crippen, was arrested by the Scotland Yard's Chief Inspector Walter Dew. This was the last chapter in a series of tragic events for Dr. Crippen that took off when he arrived in England in 1900. His second wife, Cora Henrietta Crippen, with whom he married in the United States, accompanied him to England 10 years earlier. Her dream was to become an actress, but she lacked talent and sought comfort in high society life. Her husband, Dr. Crippen, may have been able to tolerate her flocks of admirers, extravagant lifestyle, and violent domestic rows if he hadn't fallen in love with his secretary. Pretty classic story, isn't it? In February 1910, Dr. Crippen announced to friends and associates that his wife had moved to the United States, and shortly thereafter, he announced her unfortunate death. Ethel de Neve, his secretary, moved in with him, telling her family that she worked as his housekeeper. Acquaintances of Ethel didn't really trust the situation and involved the police, namely Chief Inspector Walter Dew from Scotland Yard. The investigation didn't lead to anything, as nothing was found, and Inspector Dew accepted Crippen's explanation, who stated that he lied about his wife's death because he wanted to prevent the public scandal of admitting that his wife had left him. Unfortunately for Crippen, the inspector returned to clear up some details. When he returned, the house was abandoned. Crippen and Lenave didn't know the inspector was satisfied with the explanation, and they fled in a panic. Eventually, the remains of Crippen's wife were found under the basement floor as Crippen and Lenave boarded the SS Montrose on their way to Canada, still a dominion of the British Empire back then. As I mentioned, Captain Kendall recognized them and telegraphed Scotland Yard, upon which Inspector Dew boarded the SS Laurentic, a ship that would arrive in Quebec before the SS Montrose. He managed to board the ship Dr. Crippen was on as the Montrose sailed onto the St. Lawrence River. Crippen and Lenave were arrested by Dew on the Montrose and shipped back to England. It was the first arrest made with the aid of wireless telegraphy. During Dr. Crippen's trial, the prosecution made extensive use of medical and scientific evidence. Whoever murdered Cora, they had nearly managed to make the body disappear, and it was only possible to identify it through a small visible abdominal scar. Furthermore, it was difficult to convince the jury that hyoscine, a toxic drug, was used to poison the victim. Crippen's defense argued that he accidentally gave his wife too much hyoscine, panicked, and she got unwell and attempted to hide the body. There is no reason to assume Crippen wasn't a good doctor, though. It is more likely that he was a clever murderer. Crippen was found guilty and sentenced to death. He was hanged in 1910, whereas his partner in crime, Lenave, was acquitted and emigrated to the United States on the morning of Crippen's execution. And that's how wireless telegraphy put an abrupt halt to Dr. Crippen, who nearly escaped justice after his crime passionnel. Thank you for watching this video, and do you know a person with a curious life story that you would like to know more about and perhaps see a video of? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to my channel. See you next time.